Raise your hands if you heard this before. Haytham can't wait, let Connor kill him. Obviously, I wouldn't be able to tell if you raise your hand, but this is a major misconception that the community has between their fights. Now, where would this misconception come from? The likely reason why this came up is because of his last words in Assassin's Creed Forsaken, which I'll play right now.
It struck me when the bombardment began, and I began to pray Charles had made his escape. This might be my final journal entry. These words, my last. I hope that Connor, my own son, will read this journal, and perhaps, when he knows a little about my own journey through life, understand me, maybe even forgive me. My own path was paved with lies, my mistrust forged from treachery. But my own father never lied to me. And with this journal, I preserve that custom. I present the truth, Connor, and you may do with it as you will.
Outside of the fact that in Forsaken, it is actually stated by Haytham himself that he noted he would hate Connor to be chasing him. And for second, he's old. No internal dialogue. There's also the second issue that he himself agreed on making a last stand. Connor in that fight was also conflicted. So it would make no sense when Connor himself states in their fight in Forsaken that Haytham was ferocious. It would make no sense if he was ferocious, it was actively holding back and trying to avoid killing Connor. There's also a second reason why this got propagated even further, and this is purely because of Otto Berg's motivational Templar videos.
When he discovered that his son Connor was an assassin working against him in the colonies, the same emotional weakness stayed his blade. A pity Connor did not show him the same mercy.
Now, outside of the fact that Berg is one of the most unreliable narrators in Assassin's Creed, he also unironically said this.
Templars kill for efficiency, not petty emotions.
Bias aside, this statement only applies to two occasions. One, Connor's execution, which Haytham in Forsaken has stated to have helped to rescue him. And two, their first fight in the church. Now, this is not enough compelling evidence to convince people, because of one specific instance that people do actually dogpile into, which is that at the last moment in the fight, Haytham could have easily stabbed Connor, but he couldn't because I can argue easily that his hidden blades were disabled during the fight.
Where are you, Charles?
Gone.
Come now. You cannot outmatch me, Connor. For all your skills, you're still but a boy, with so much left to learn.
You notice where he stabbed? He hit directly where the hidden blade is on his left wrist. Now, some may say, how would that destroy the hidden blade? Well, outside of the fact that the hidden blade has been shown to be easily destroyed with a good swing, it is also possible that Connor hit a mechanism in the hidden blade which disabled it. Now, here comes the second scene, which will have people argue, then why couldn't Haytham use his right hidden blade?
You fare no better.
Even when your kind appears to triumph, still we rise again. And you know why? It's because the Order is born of a realization. We require no creed, no indoctrination by desperate old men. All we need is that the world be as it is. This is why the Templars will never be destroyed.
So now you may be asking, well, his left was disabled, but what about his right? It should be active. In fact, he should know Connor has a hidden blade he can use against him. So why not stab him with his right hidden blade? Well, I was actually being sneaky. There is one specific reason why he couldn't use his right hidden blade, And even though Connor had his right hidden blade, he didn't stab Haytham either. I had this scene without audio and in very slow motion, but take a note as to which of Haytham's hand is closest to the cannonball, and which of Connor's hand is also closest to the cannonball. Notice how both of their right arms are closest to the cannonball splash? That is likely the cannonball that disabled both of their hidden blades. And now you might ask for evidence. How come you could infer that both of their hidden blades were disabled? Well, the obvious reason is because Connor didn't bother using his right hidden blade when it was his free arm. In fact, Haytham's not even holding his right arm with his foot either. There is Connor's right arm holding Haytham's left arm from choking him out. He could easily just ignore that chokeout, use his right hidden blade, and kill Haytham. But he didn't. Now, one may argue that Connor is just too green and inexperienced to actually think it through because this is what Haytham states.
Come now. You cannot hope to match me, Connor. For all your skills, you are still but a boy with so much left to learn.
Which is easily disproven by this one scene.
And why should I give you any credit?
Then don't. But first, return the robe and the blade and the darts and all of the years of training and knowledge I have bestowed upon you. Return these, and then your words may have some merit.
In this scene, Achilles outright states that he personally trained so he could catch up and score up against these Templars. And it holds weight, because Achilles both fought and got shot by a prime Haytham. And Achilles likely used this prime Haytham as a measure as to where Connor should be in order for his mission to be successful. So experience aside, he is skilled enough to deal with a prime Haytham. Now, some may argue, let's just say that neither hidden blade was disabled. Why didn't Haytham just kill Connor with both hidden blades? Well, one main issue is that as Connor described Haytham's fighting style as ferocious, he was also speaking to Connor in a very important tone to note.
We did not harm your people. We did not support the crowd.
While it's not extremely obvious, he was clearly enraged during the fight. There's also the second issue that they both took a cannonball. And you can tell that Connor was heavily disoriented by the first cannonball that hit him. Imagine old Haytham getting hit by a cannonball about the same proximity as Connor's first cannonball hit he took. So Haytham was both enraged and disoriented. Not exactly a good recipe to be in a proper state of mind. So because of that, he was likely thinking about choking Connor instead of just stabbing him. This is also backed by the fact that if Haytham really didn't want to kill Connor, he would probably taken the agreement of standing down because Lee by then probably already escaped. So make more sense for Haytham to stand down by then. That is just my take into things. If you disagree with it, just hit me up and I'll actually debate about it. Otherwise, as a conclusion, Haytham most likely was going all in into killing Connor, and he was likely not holding back. While I may take the argument that yes, he was mentally holding back as he was enraged, he was definitely going to kill Connor, and he wasn't just going to let himself die. Because otherwise, Haytham wouldn't even have tried to engage against Connor.